Welcome back to WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. I'm David Hoffman here with Behind the Catch Fence. I'm a little bit tired. You might be able to tell I'm got a little sunburn, and I've been sweating my butt off the entire weekend. Let's see, I believe on Friday it was around 7 miles. Yesterday was about 8 miles, and then today was 6.5 miles, something like that. So I can't do math very well, so that's why I'm doing this. So if you guys can kind of count that and see how many miles I've done, I greatly appreciate that. But today we have the Firestone Grand Prix of Monterey, which Colton Hertaville was in full effect as he blew away from the field as he won once again for the second time here. He won in 2019. He probably would have won last year as well if it wasn't for COVID. But before we get into that, let's roll over because the schedule for the NTT IndyCar Series next year was officially announced. So let's look over that schedule. For the first time since the kart days, IndyCar will be back racing in February as they head to the streets of St. Petersburg to open up the season. And then they move to Texas, which I'm not really looking forward to. I know a lot of people, especially with the doubleheader that they had this last year with the PJ1 that NASCAR has to put down, that was not a good show, to say the least. So I'm not looking forward to Texas. Hopefully that PJ1 continues to wear off, but who knows. That'll be March 20th. And April 10th, they'll head back to the streets of Long Beach, which is great to have Long Beach back on the schedule earlier in the year. Let's hope that stays. And then as we go into May, Barber Motorsports Park gets its date back on May 1st. And then the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course, as that kicks off the month of May on May 14th. The Indy 500, the 106th running of the Indianapolis 500, will be on May 29th. And then a big change on June 5th is Belle Isle Park in Detroit. That'll only be one race in Detroit, not the duel, which I kind of started to like the past couple seasons, but I have to change it up some way. Then June 12th, they'll head to Road America, one of the most beautiful road courses in America. And then July, here's a packed July, which I love the fact that they're able to head into July, and they have 5 races in July, which starts off with Mid-Ohio, July 4th weekend. That'll be on July 3rd. And then hopefully they'll be heading to the streets of Toronto, which will be July 17th. Who knows how COVID will be by then, but Toronto, it's been much needed on the schedule for a long time. So hopefully we can get them back. Then July 23rd and 24th is a doubleheader in Iowa, which we've been really looking forward to for a couple years now. And thankfully, Iowa's back officially. It's going to be a lot of action. I believe both of those will be under the lights. So Iowa, it's going to be a lot of action. And then July 30th, they'll be back at the Indy Road Course for the NASCAR doubleheader weekend. And as we close out July, then August will end up being the streets of Nashville, August 7th, which was a lot of fun this year. I know it was a bit of a wreck fest, but I believe you got guys who now have 2 years of experience heading back there. That'll be a lot of an advantage. And I believe Nashville, that has the formula to be one of the best tracks on the circuit. And then they'll be back at Worldwide Technology Raceway on August 20th in Gateway. Always great action there. And then they'll close out the IndyCar season September 4th at Portland International, and then right back here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca to finish out the year September 11th. Now moving on to the race, Alexander Rossi, who started outside pole, he had a lot of momentum riding with him, but that was quickly shut down as he would get knocked into by teammate Colton Herta. He would have to refire, and he would end up 25th, 2 laps down. Now for other guys like Oliver Askew, he had a slow 12.5-second stop after his first pit stop, which set him back, but he would end up rebounding to finish 9th. Now Will Power, who qualified 3rd for Team Penske, had a lot of momentum riding with him, but he ended up having some engine issues, and he would end up 2 laps down right behind Rossi in 26th. Now Will Power's teammate Joseph Newgarden had some issues as well on that first pit stop as he elected to go with the softer compound red tires, which he felt would end up benefiting him in the long run, especially if they would have had a caution. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and he ended up dropping from 5th to 10th like a rock as he had to end up salvaging a 7th place finish, staying within 48 points of Alex Palou. Now one of the bigger moments of the race came when Takuma Sato wound up getting turned around in the corkscrew, and he ended up collecting Scott Dixon in the process, as I ended up getting a video of the tail end of that, which you'll see here. Then in the final 15 laps, Romain Grosjean ended up bolting past Pato O'Ward for 4th, and then taking over 3rd from Graham Rahal as he had a killer last couple of laps. He ended up chopping off 2 seconds off of Alex Palou's lead on him, as Palou ended up finishing 2nd and Grosjean wound up 3rd. And now as you take a look at the results from the Firestone Grand Prix of Monterey. Now Colton Herta wound up leading 91 of the 95 laps as he ended up spanking the field, as we all know. Alex Palou padding his points lead, and he ended up finishing 2nd. Romain Grosjean 3rd for another podium this season. Graham Rahal 4th. Pato O'Ward only was able to salvage a 5th place finish, not what he was looking for, but he's managing the points gap. Now Marcus Ericsson wound up 6th, Joseph Newgarden 7th, and Simon Pagenaud rounding out in 8th. Then after the race, I was able to speak to James Hinchcliffe, the 3-time special guest on the show, and he told us just how their race went.
Man, I don't think anybody predicted the tire wear going the way that it did, and unfortunately, we just came out of the gate with a super loose car. I think a lot of guys were battling sort of the same thing, and I think all in all, we probably took 5 turns of front wing out of the thing. I think we'd maxed out, taken wing out of it. So we were just chasing the balance all day on a difficult tire strategy with the way they were wearing. Like I said, that was the same for everyone, but just didn't quite work out the way we wanted today.
Is there anything else that just kind of threw you off guard as the race kind of went on, or is it about what you kind of figured?
No, I mean, I think it's just the thing that caught us off guard was just how much we had to adjust the car. We had a reasonable balance in warm up. We were pretty happy with it, so very surprised that it went the way that it did. Nothing that we did on the setup would have indicated that's the way the car would have gone. But that's IndyCar racing. It's not easy, so we just learn from this one and move on to the next one.
And during the media press conference, we talked to Romain Grosjean as he mentioned just how he feels renewed and refreshed coming over from Formula One.
A few years were a bit tough and frustrating, and I knew what to drive, but I couldn't show anything. So definitely coming somewhere where you can fight at the front, you hear your engineer telling you you're the fastest car on track, you're P1, you're fighting for podiums. It's definitely a revival. I understand that a lot of kids want to make it to Formula One, but if it's to be at the back of the grid every weekend, I think you better hear.
During the media press conference, we were also able to speak to Alex Palou, who's 35 points ahead of Pato O'Ward, and we asked just what his mindset is going in, only needing to finish 11th to clinch the championship.
Yeah, obviously that helps, knowing that we have a good margin instead of needing to win to get that championship. So that means we did a really good job so far, so happy with that. But in IndyCar, Romain was saying that he was P8 on that last stint and finished at P3 because he didn't have more laps, otherwise he would have won. So IndyCar, you cannot relax at any moment, so I think we'll just keep doing what we've been doing, race hard, race smart, and hopefully we can get that championship home without needing to finish 11 or anything. We will try and get the best result as possible.
Now, unfortunately, this ends our 3-day incredible weekend here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. It's honestly the first time I've ever been in California, and I definitely have to come back at least to this racetrack because, look at the beautiful scenery. I'll step back here and let you guys take it all in. Come on. The beautiful sky, just everything is picture perfect, and the action on track was incredible, and congratulations to Colton Herta. And I'd like to thank everyone who made this entire weekend possible. I'd like to thank every single PR person that allowed me to interview the drivers. I try to look as professional as possible, so hopefully I did that job correctly. And thank you to everyone who just has been listening the past 3 days, and hope you guys have a great weekend and great week, and thank you guys for listening. I'll catch you guys later.